Welcome to the Legacy Moms 10-Minute Topic, a web series where a panel of moms from all life stages discuss issues relevant to Christian moms just like you. In episode 2, we are discussing structure and boundaries for little ones.
Hi, and welcome to a little chat with some of our legacy moms. If you've been attending for very long, I'm sure you recognize some of these ladies from our leadership team. But we're just sitting here having a chat about having structure and boundaries with your children. A few weeks ago, I was on Instagram and I noticed a young actress had mentioned that she had her toddler in a play yard in her living room because she was now mobile, and people were going crazy, criticizing her, telling her it was a cage, she was treating her child like an animal. And so we just wanted to talk a little bit about that because we strongly disagree with that. Structure and having boundaries for your young children when they're first mobile is so important, and it has physical, emotional, and mental effects on your children. So, you guys share with us some of your experience with boundaries and how it impacted your family and your kids.
Kim, just the other day I was at the hair salon, and this lady said she was just getting so tired playing with the baby over and over, and I thought, back when I was going through that, I guess babies and toddlers, those ages, we did playtime. We called it playpen time, or pack and play time, and just the same time every day we put our children, our one child, in the playpen, and I don't know, maybe we started out 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and it got a little bit increasingly longer. And I will tell you, they didn't like it at first, right?
Yeah, that's
right. They cried a little bit, but in the end, it ends up being a blessing. You have time to shower, maybe make some lunch.
Well, and I know for me, like when I put my kids in the playpen, at first they're like, "What are you doing?" And you just kind of sit by and let them see that they're safe and you're there. And you just slowly over time back out of the room and get a little further away, and then you come back after 2 minutes, and then you come back after 10 minutes. And this is one of the emotional benefits, because your kids start to learn that when mommy goes away, mommy always comes back. And it really helps your kids develop that kind of independence, so that when you're going to drop them off at church, or you're going to leave them with the grandparents, or as you start taking them to school, that they know that mommy always comes back, right? I mean, you guys experience that. What are some other, physically, did you have experiences with that where, it was just a safety issue?
Well, sure. I mean, when I remember one time in particular, I was in the shower and I'd left. I'd only had one child, so he couldn't have been more than 18 months old. And I was in the shower and I was just going to let him play in the bathroom. Everything was kind of locked up except one drawer. And the next thing I know, there's a bottle of red nail polish spilled on the towel. And I mean, it's just everywhere. And so, I mean, he cut his little hand trying to, and then just kind of all playing in it. So it was this huge mess. He was bleeding and I was soaking wet and trying to deal with all that. So I learned very quickly, no, you cannot do this. The pack and play is a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Even at that point, if I would have wanted it to move it into my closet, which was right there, so that I could be pretty close, that was always an option.
Yeah.
So that's the great thing about the pack and play, is you could take it wherever you wanted to if you didn't want it to be.
Sure. Well, and let's be honest, when you've got a little kid, it just to have a minute in the shower is amazing.
Yes.
So it's such a blessing, because I think what happens is you have this baby and you can put them on a blanket, or you can put them on your bed, and then all of a sudden they're mobile and your world changes. And so I wonder if sometimes these young moms are just letting their babies crawl all over the house, and it's just too much, and it's overwhelming for them. And I know you taught kindergarten, so you kind of saw the effects of that as they came in at that age.
Well, and when I did playpen time, I think all of us, we would put objects in there that were toys, age appropriate. So it wasn't only that they were just to sit there bored, they were to learn a skill.
We're like, sit here and read a book.
It would be maybe 2 items. It could be a really soft book when they were really tiny that squeaked, whatever they liked. Then it could progress into wooden puzzles that they could put together in little soft blocks. But what I did find for my own kid, they started looking forward to playpen time, to be honest with you, because I put really, fun things in there, and they learn just the skill of entertaining themselves. And that is what I found when I taught kindergarten. It was at the end of the day, when it would be kind of free time to pick a center to go to, some of the kids were like, I need a friend to tell me what to do, or I have to play with someone, or teacher, come play with me. And it's something that you don't realize, especially if you have an only child at first, you love playing with them, but it's a skill that I think all children need to learn, and it benefits you when you need to take a shower, get stuff done. So
And I
it's a
think
win-win.
and I think as a young mom, one of the things that helped me was understanding the end game of why we do what we do. I think young moms today, we've got this weird situation where I think we think boundaries are mean, or they're cruel, or if our kid cries or is upset about something, we're somehow being a bad mom or a bad parent. But having other moms around me that had kind of trudged the road before me saying, hey, your kid is not going to enjoy playpen time in the beginning. But here is why we do what we do, and here are the benefits. Reframing that, so when I did put them in those first few times and they threw a fit, it was like, okay, this is to be expected, and this is why I'm doing what I'm doing. Just kind of that shift in thinking that this is for your own good. A good mom allows you to figure this out on your own instead of coming in and sweeping you up and,
Sure, right.
And then it can transition as they get older. Obviously you start to playpen, but then that gets a little small. And so some people have those play yards, but they eventually graduate to, believe it or not, playing alone in their room for a period of time, which is so good for them. I mean, did you guys not?
sweet freedom.
Yes, that's like woo. We were talking earlier about the first time you put the gate up, and they're standing at the door like, "What do you want me to do?"
Right.
But I found what really worked for my kids, especially my oldest, was if I just put him in a room full of toys, it was way overwhelming, and so they didn't really play. It was like they were just, I would be overwhelmed in a very cluttered environment. So what I would do is I would have him play in a room that was separate from where all the toys were, and I would pick out like 4 things for him to do, and I would rotate it. So it was kind of fun for him because those were things that he only got to do during his room time. And it gave him like it was a puzzle, and it was this game, and so it helped him develop creativity because he was stuck with just a couple of things that he had to figure out. So I know you guys probably saw that as well. And then room time, as they grow older, they learn just how to do things on their own. And I know how many of us hear moms say, my child wants me to entertain them all the time. They want me to do everything with them. And playing with your kid is great, and we want to enjoy that. But you're not their slave either.
Right. There's nothing more precious than being with your kids and spending time with them and teaching them and nurturing them and loving them.
Right.
But everyone needs to learn how to be alone.
Independent.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, and we need that too because we'll go crazy.
Sure.
Well, and I think along those boundary lines, it also sets a precedent. Because if you're having a really hard time getting your 18-month-old to, stay in that place, like if it's just breaking your heart and you feel like you want to die because they want to get out of their playpen, even if you know the benefits of it, wait until that kid is 16 and outweighs you by 40 pounds and is 7 inches taller and can drive. I mean, so I feel like it does establish from a very early age just kind of that authority structure that, hey, mom and dad are in charge and this is my place in the family.
Yeah.
And I'm doing what's ultimately good for you. Even
Yes,
if you don't
yes,
like it.
absolutely.
Like, but I have your best